is being recorded. So now, yeah, so newcomers, I like to give some time at the beginning of the call for others to introduce themselves who have never been here before. So obviously, totally optional. You don't have to. But I already heard from Abhi in the chat. So first of all, great to meet you. But if anyone would like to say anything, introduce themselves, love to hear, where you're from, what are you working on, how did you hear about Kagent, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll open the floor to anyone who wants to do that.
I can go ahead. So, hey all, Francisco Cabrera here. I'm from Google, so I'm the TPM that is driving landing, let's say, agents on GKE, and in particular also in open source. So I'm based in Seattle, and really excited to start working with you all.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, really excited to have you here. Super excited. Maybe worth discussing working with y'all. What brought you here? What do what sort of thing are you interested? Yeah, I mean, feel free to give a deeper dive. I've heard a bit, but you want to.
So we're yeah, sure. So we are actually, you may imagine, right? We're just looking into how we can scale agentic workloads into Kubernetes, right? GKE, right? So we're looking at, okay, what's happening there, right, in the ecosystem. We found K agents, or we're not just trying to see what are you doing. And we actually saw the meeting from last week, right, on how you're pivoting to ADK. So it really makes a lot of sense. I think we have a like kind of same vision. So just trying to ramp up of what you're doing, like what are your plans, and see how we can collaborate in the future. I don't have
Awesome.
any concrete action right now. I hope we will in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And great to have you here. Obviously, we're super excited to have other companies support here. So that's awesome. Any other new faces in here want to introduce themselves?
Hi guys, I've just come in for the first time today. I came in through a video with somebody in the community made about Kagent being really good for newcomers and having a very welcoming community. So I plan to lurk in for some time.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I hope we're just as welcoming as was promised. So, all right. Anyone else? I see a couple new faces.
Hey everyone, I am Anurag and I am currently pursuing a bachelor degree from India, and I am familiar with Golang and Golang in the backend. And I am excited to contribute in the Kagent community. That someone suggested me in the CNCF community says that it is an amazing community, so I joined, and I am eager to contribute in the future.
Awesome. Happy to have you. Yeah, that's so cool. We
Thank you.
love contributions. We love working with the community. Okay, I see a couple new faces, so I'll sort of talk, aimlessly for another 5 seconds in case anyone wants to say anything, and if not, I think I'll move on. Okay, so next is an announcement. So we briefly touched on this last week, but Agent Gateway, which is another project that Solo.io is working on, is getting its own dedicated meeting. So those are happening Thursdays at 2 Eastern. So for anyone who's interested in that, actually, let me see if I can share the link for those. I do not understand how sharing calendars works. It's truly, it's the technical question of our generation. Let me see. Share, publish. I have no idea. Anyway, I'll try and figure that out later. I'll put that in the doc. Cool. So we don't have anything super specific today. I think we had a really good conversation in our contributors meeting on Thursday, which involved updates to the API. I can briefly talk about and summarize some of those, the places that we got, because I think those are pretty interesting. as well as give a bit of a status update in terms of where the the switch over to ADK is, and what still needs to happen there, and what is done. So I'll start with the here. Let's actually release updates. Here, yeah. I'll check. Release updates. Switch to ADK. So so the oops. Okay. Oh yeah, I see what you're doing. All right. So just to start with the ADK. So it's actually feature complete. I've got the whole thing done and working, which is awesome. And I guess I could show a demo as well at the end of this. And so the only thing left is Peter, who couldn't make it today, is finishing up the UI because we changed some of the APIs for this. We changed some of the ways, the APIs and some of the ways to interact with the system. So just Peter's finishing up the UI. Once that's done, I think we're ready to go. So super excited about that. Dimitro.
Hey, I just wanted to ask about the resources because last time I tried this alpha preview version, I faced some issue with CPU limits and other stuff. Like I think the new after redesign, it was consuming much more resources because we have multiple pods running with the same Python inside, right? How does it look like, and what is the now minimum requirements for CPU memory after the redesign?
That's a good question. So I think it should. I mean, there's no reason, Well, okay. So taking a step back, right? So right now, there's no way. Like, if we take a look at the API here, I'll just share my screen really quick, so people have a bit of an understanding here. I'll present something else. So let's take a look at our agent API here. Hopefully I'm not sharing any private keys. I don't think I am. So if we take a look at our agent API here, we'll notice that there is something that has changed. We've added in the agent spec, we now have a deployment spec. And so this allows us, allows us to configure the settings for the deployment, which contains the agents. Now, I don't yet have resources here and limits, but we can definitely add them. I can do that like right after this. And I think in terms of resource requirements, right, each individual agent should not be very high. But I think, Dimitro, for example, when you're running the default installation of Kagent, right now it deploys a bunch of agents which you're probably not using, right? So those agents are deployed by default so that people who install Kagent have examples of agents that they can play around with and use, and it just sort of works out of the box. But when you advance to the point that you're worried about, the resource usage of your agents, et cetera, then I think deleting or disabling and not deploying some of those agents will become important. And if you look at the Helm chart, you can easily do that, right? All of them are managed, all of them are enabled by default, but you can easily just say, hey, I don't need these Cilium agents, I don't need this Argo agent, I don't need this, you know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, you might just have the Istio agent, the Kubernetes agent, and the Helm agent, right? And so then...
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just trying to understand if after we will merge this PR in master, if there will be any difference for this kind of local deployments where sometimes you're a bit limited with resources and we will not face, like this was my experience on the first try. Like, I don't know, there were a few things still not ready. I will definitely give a try for this current version because you're saying it's already feature complete.
Except for the UI.
Yeah, but I really struggled to run it. I don't know, maybe it was coincidence of my Docker with running something else, but I've seen like a multiple pods and half of them were not coming, to ready state. I thought it's just because it was something in progress, but if you can maybe show a small demo on your side and just mention, what is the consumption?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, let me see. I can check what the default consumption is, but I can also tune it down. It might be set to it, like I might not be setting it. Let's see. Also, all of this is in the PR, but let me take a look. So right now we're not setting any resources. So I just need to set default resources. So I'll put that as a to do for myself before I release. Because right now it's not setting any. And then of course
Okay.
there'll be the overrides in the API. But I'll still show a demo. But
Yeah, but
the problem is it's just
because
not
we are
set.
running not a one process with Python, but actually, I don't know, 10 different processes, right? Do you see any increase in memory requirement to run it locally? Like the minimum required resources from the
When you say locally, do you mean
kind and Docker? Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, again,
Essentially, you understand, previously we had one Python running, right? Even with multiple agents inside. One process, one Python process in one container, right?
Mhm.
Now we actually multiplying by 10 with the same functionality. That's kind of you can ignore it, but in some cases it may just grow a little bit. And
No, I think you're totally right. And I think part of that, so there are pros and cons to every approach. I think we decided the pros here were worth it. And also, again, when you're deploying, if you're in a resource starved environment locally, I think again, you don't need to have 10 agents running. You're probably not using 90% of them, right? You're probably testing with one or two. So I think again, we just need to make it clear and simple and easy to disable them, as well as make sure that it's easy to reduce the resource usage of an
Yeah.
individual agent. So
and I think I mentioned on the PR comment if there is a chance if we can like club together some agents or not. Is it something that will be possible, or we will definitely run each agent as a separate pod going forward?
yeah, so we landed on this architecture because we thought that the separation of concerns is more important than running them in the same pod. I mean, eventually, if we figure out a secure way to do it, we can go down that path. But there are currently no plans on my end, anyway, on our end.
All right.
I have a question. Is
Yeah.
my will my understanding of agents be right? Like agents would be tiny LLMs in the range of 600 MBs to 3 gigabytes, or are they API calls out of the system?
So an agent, I mean, we can get potentially philosophical about what an agent is, but an agent in our system is just a program that has access to tools and LLMs and potentially other things, but basically it has access to the LLMs. It's not the LLM itself. So when you create an agent, so I'll just do a really quick demo of what this looks like. So let's say you create an agent in our system. Let's take a look at. So I have everything running right now. Let's see what's running in the agent namespace. So I have agent control plane here, and then I have my agents. So I have a Kubernetes agent, Istio agent, Helm agent, Cilium agent, and Kgateway agent. And so those are my pods. Now, if I take a look at my agent resources, you'll see that I have, so these are the agents that define the agents that are deployed to the cluster. Now, these agents, again, they are just an instantiation of a thing that has access to what I mentioned previously. So let's take a look at the K8s agent as an example. So if we take a look at the Kubernetes agent, we'll see that really all it is it's spec. So we have an A2A config, which is useful if you want to expose your agent as an A2A via an A2A server. It has a description which can be used by other agents. It has a model config, so that defines the LLM that it has access to. And then it has a system prompt. And the system prompt defines its behavior in plain language. So that's really all that it does. And so behind the scenes, what's happening is we are translating that into config, which then creates an ADK instance, which is a runnable. It's basically a server which can run this agent. Specifically, it's exposed via A2A. So if I now
So basically, currently the focus is agents are primarily the prompts that we are orchestrating around and pre-existing LLM.
Yes.
Okay. And I was asking this question because in one of the docs it was said that for Grafana observability there is an agent. So
yes.
when we talk of specific tools like querying into Grafana and Prometheus, would we not need like a specific LLM for that? Because I don't, or maybe not.
So you could, okay, there are tools. So our system has a bunch of tools, and we also use the upstream Grafana MCP server. So the information that these agents get it really comes from tools, right? So the model, like whatever. Anyway, the model does not have to be fine-tuned, right? There are definitely instances in which fine-tuned models may be better or more useful, but fine-tuning and training a model is really difficult and really expensive. So most of the time, you can get really good behavior and performance if you have tools which provide information and context as well as action, right, to the models, right? And so it's not so much that the model needs to be fine-tuned, it's that the model needs access to tools which can get information that it needs for the task. And then you need a system prompt that helps it understand how to access those tools and perform operations. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. It's just that I was noticing in other communities that especially for querying languages, people were moving on to tiny LLMs. But just a random suggestion.
Yeah. So I mean, the answer in the end might be that for that specific use case, a fine-tuned LLM is better, right? That's fine. Like, again, our system doesn't take an opinion. If you want to use a fine-tuned LLM for an agent, that's great. You can deploy that LLM with Olama, and then our system can use it, right? Our system is not like, it's a framework. It's a generalized framework in which you can accomplish these goals, and we support lots of different ways of doing that, right? And so it's not so much like, if that's the most powerful way, absolutely, like, let's do it,
I think at the moment we are not doing any kind of, we are not providing any tools to prompt optimization or different like model tuning and so on. This is outside of scope of the project. Maybe in future we will include some of it, like some pipelines for that. But typically people have like as a part of their like LM engineering, some pipelines which they can run, create a dedicated model with additional fine-tuned parameters for the specific tools. Based on my research, I couldn't find any data sets right now, which are kind of CNCF Kubernetes, which we can reuse. In order to do such fine-tuning and so on your local, you would need to create some examples. But there are some frameworks which I think we mentioned on the Discord from Databricks and so on, which allows you to actually give it initial prompt, give it set of tools, and after running some time, like it will do this optimization inside. You need to provide some examples of what you expect from tools, for example, and it will just tune your prompts to be more relevant. If you're asking like list namespaces or give me a list of Helm charts or something with Grafana, in order to make your prompts and everything more accurate, you sometimes need to tune it. At the moment, we are not doing that. We provide the default static examples. It's up to you. If you want to have tune your agent, you definitely can do it, and you can share with us maybe your findings. Ethan, I have one last question maybe about this change. You remember for the models and also like for this local models and other stuff, we need to have this light LLM because the ADK only supports directly the Google and Anthropic. I think everyone should be aware about this additional requirement. Are we going with light LLM or are we going with, I don't know, like agent gateway
it's an
or anything
implementation
else?
detail. It's not light LLM. So I'll show you. It's not, you don't need to deploy anything extra. I'll show you what I mean. So just to be clear.
But from documentation of ADK, it was not clear. And I think for everyone, it will be good to know, to understand this design or this additional component.
Yeah. So let me show you. So I actually have a problem. I actually kind of have a problem with how it's implemented in ADK. And I'm interested in working with them more in the future to make this a bit more first class. But I can walk you through exactly what it looks like just to show you. So if we look at our agent config here, basically when ADK says you need to use light LLM, it doesn't mean that you need to use light LLM as a proxy. What it means is that you need to use light LLM as a library. So light LLM can function both as a proxy and a library. And so when you use it as a library, you can essentially make calls from OpenAI to anything. And so if we take a look at how this code works on the Python side, right? If you specify an OpenAI
it's a
model,
wrapper actually. Okay.
Yeah, we use the light LLM wrapper from ADK with OpenAI and set that. And so the actual code will go, the actual code will go through the light LLM library and then end up in the right place. So from the perspective of people using the system, nothing has changed.
Right, but to me, this looks a little bit like a temporary kind of implementation detail, which I would expect over time to become more supported from the ADK side or maybe from our side, so we get rid of those extra big.
I agree.
Proxy.
I agree.
Yeah.
As ADK matures and eventually OpenAI I think eventually OpenAI will become more of a first-class citizen. We'll see. I don't want to make any assumptions. Again, like I'm not the one in control of that. But I agree. I think, official support will probably be added upstream and then we can get rid of this.
Because of all dependency mess, if we just include it as a library like this and all the kind of other stuff, which we need to clean up every time with CVEs and so on, it's actually blowing a lot with...
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to convince me. I agree. I don't want that library. Trust me. It's huge.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's just an implementation detail
my
for
second
now.
part of my second part of question was maybe we want to have a component like a agent gateway or kind of AI gateway, which will be actually simple, proper protocol, and then behind the scene we can multiplex to any implementation. So this way we will shift the focus from this dependency and we will move it outside to kind of AI gateway. Does it make sense in a way? So we will have like a one only type and connection here. And
I don't want to force that, if that makes sense. Like, I think if you think that is the best solution for you, 100% we should support it. But I don't think that we should force that, right? Like if someone's just using Kagent and they want to use the model, they should be able to use whatever model they want just by, within Kagent. But if let's say in your environment, right, you don't want to use all these library, you don't want to use this stuff. You want actually everything to go through Agent Gateway. I think 100% we should support that too.
Right, but you remember we need to have support. Whenever we say we support something, right? It's not only that we wrap it and that's it, right? We have a list of functionality which we want to be common for all the models in the observability, in the security, all kind of stuff, rate limiters, plugins for protecting the prompt injection, anything, you know. And I think we had a discussion that this will be part of another component, which will be standalone kind of implementation. And I'm just asking if we need to discuss it, maybe to have just a separate official AI gateway in future, or we will keep to providing this kind of wrapper and all the support with all this, like telemetry, traceability, all of the mentioned.
Yeah, it's a good question.
That's a big question, right? We need to think about that as well. So.
Let me put it as a to-do. It's a good question. I got it. I got it, Sebastian. Don't worry.
You understand, because we will have a lot of waste of engineering effort making order in all possible combinations. Currently on the Discord, we see already people are running sometimes exotic combination of VLLM with OpenAI with something, which is we never anticipated. So I think having here maybe like a more clear separation of concern, where we have basically officially supported drivers with all the functionality which we need, and then maybe AI gateway for everything else. I don't know, as a part of it. It's just a question for everyone. If anyone can comment on this, please.
Yeah, no, it's a good question for sure. All right. Okay. So I left that as a to do. Yeah. So I think, I can just briefly show. Again, I don't have access to UI, unfortunately, but I'll talk to the agent via the CLI, so that we have an invoke which you can use to chat with it via the CLI. So I'll just ask, I'll ask it what it can do. So I'm specifically speaking to the Kubernetes agent right now. So it can help me troubleshoot Kubernetes clusters, retrieve logs, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll ask it. So it also gave me a session ID, which I can use. And again, if you use our UI, it'll handle all this for you, but I'm just going to quickly do that. So let's ask it, okay, what pods are running in my cluster? And again, this is the same functionality that we would have had before. But one thing that I think is worth noting is kind of cool, is that is it going to be difficult right now? Okay. Well, there's also a bug, which separately, there's a bug in the MCP session implementation, in the Python MCP session implementation, which gets stuck. So I will, and which I figured out, and I'll have to fix that later today. But let me just roll out the pod for now to kill it. But anyway, if you notice, one thing that has changed that's kind of cool is that the default way of interacting with our system now is all A2A native. So A2A is really cool, and it basically, what we've done is we've turned all of our agents into A2A compatible systems, and so they can communicate with each other via A2A. So anyone can bring their own A2A agents, which it can communicate with. So let me see if that guy is back up. Yes. So all right, let me send that again. And we'll see that it found the pods in the cluster, and then it's going to just send that up to the LLM, and it says, all right, well, it got I'll just, I'll pump that into JQ. Oops, that's the wrong command. There we go. That not invalid string? All right, well, what are you going to do? So anyway, you can see here that it has several pods running across these namespaces. And of course, now that I have a session ID, I can continue to ask it follow-up questions, but I don't want bore everyone. So again, the thing about, it's hard to demo this functionality because the idea is that everything has stayed the same, but we made some core architectural changes that we think will help the health of the system going forward. So, yep. Okay, that's all I've got. Let me switch back to the this guy. So, all right, the next thing is Helm refactor. Sebastian.
Yep. So I saw that there are some changes to the Helm chart that we are right now using on the main branch, which after my change will become the value for the all-in-one deployment. And the question is if we can finally merge this Helm refactor to go forward with that, because it will be maybe fifth rebase from my side. And so I want to go forward.
So Sebastian, I think let me see. Yeah, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that because my if you want, I'll do it right before mine, and then I'll pull those changes into my PR and do the rebase, because my PR also changed a whole bunch of stuff. And so I'll merge yours first, and then move it, and then I can make the necessary changes to bring what I've done into that PR.
All right, and are you ready right now to merge your? Because I have to fix some conflicts, resolve conflicts before we can merge mine.
Not quite yet.
All right.
Probably the next couple of days. Again, just waiting on the UI.
All right, so I will be faster, I guess. All right.
Okay. Yeah, no, sorry about that. I know it's been,
no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So, because I also wanted to make sure that we could, I think now it's close enough that we're almost ready for that 050. So.
Nice.
All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think additionally to the Helm refactor, I have a question if we want to release the Helm charts that we are currently have, for example, in tool server repo, because we are publishing containers, but not all OCI components are pushed to the registry right now.
No, so I think Dimitro he published for the tools.
Yeah,
he
but
published the.
Is it pushed? I mean, the Helm chart is pushed to
the
OCI. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe I missed that. Right.
Dimitro, I
yes,
think so.
Yes, it's a separate OCI. It has its own version, Helm chart, everything.
All right. Nice.
I actually, so
Right.
Yeah, so we should switch to that. In terms of the contrib ones, I don't know. I don't think so. Not yet.
Yep. Only our own.
Yeah.
All
Cool.
right.
All right. Anyone else? Or can I give you back a few minutes?
I can mention something just briefly. I, as a part of this kind of separation of framework and everything, I tried to look on different frameworks, like different SDK framework, different MCP, and how everything can play together with Agent Gateway. So I started to compile like a small repo with all of that, under Docker builds that you can have a base images which are secure without CVEs and stuff like that. And also you can just in one click start the Agent Gateway with those MCPs, play around with different configuration. It's not part of current contrib or anything. It's a standalone, but if you're interested, you can have a look maybe or contribute. I don't know. I think we need a little bit more playground for different type of implementations of agents to see how they work in our environment, for example, for compatibility, because we have like Python, Node.js, Java, Go, multiple frameworks. And especially if we are going to use things like Agent Gateway to kind of test. I was testing Kagent tools with it to see that it's compatible and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll put a link to that right here.
But by the way, I found a problem with TLS and Agent Gateway. It didn't work for me with the keys. Keys, it didn't accept keys. I don't know, need to open a defect.
Don?
Yeah, I'm listening. I was just about to ask before you said that if there's any feedback on Agent Gateway, it's super appreciated because the hardest part.
I use
early part of a project
Tailscale.
is figuring out what people need. So
yeah, I use Tailscale to generate the default certs, key and certificate. I added this to the Agent Gateway to secure the MCP endpoints, and I got an error saying the key not valid. I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah, if you can file maybe the steps you did so I can reproduce. I've done some TLS, so it's not 100% broken. Maybe it's the wrong format or something. It has to be pen formatted.
I think it's matter of format because Tailscale using their kind of some.
Oh, okay, it has to be pen. So we could either add support for dir or it just has to be pen format.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
But any other like high level feedback too, not just bugs, but things that were friction or features you need, always happy to hear. So.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is we're always like I love to hear what people are doing in the community in and around Kagent. I saw someone posted in Discord about their someone posted in Discord about their meetup and how they were discussing Kagent and all the details and all that stuff. And so like feel free, like always talk about that stuff, add that stuff. Like I love to see it. Other members of the community love to see it. It's really cool to hear all about that stuff. And also just like the things that Dimitri is making. And we're all, it's really cool to see what people are working on. So definitely, I think we can even have a dedicated time at the end of every meeting for community projects and things. So yeah, and if anyone has anything they want to demo also in future meetings, things they're building, like we'd love to see them. So just let us know. All right. Anything else? Anyone wants to talk about?
This is Lynn. Sorry, I just finished your live stream and popping here. I just want to make sure everybody knows on August 12th, Denis has been running Kagent Hackathon, and he's going to show us the interesting project people build off the hackathon and along with some cool demos. So I'm really, really excited for that.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be really looking forward to that as well. I just saw that on the calendar. So that'll be in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So really, really looking forward to everyone being there. Hey, any other updates, Lynn? I think I'm all out. Dimitri, good question. The update is tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
I know. Tomorrow. It's specifically tomorrow. I did invite someone to come here and do a demo, but I guess that didn't happen. So.
Yes. One thing I noticed that when I was like playing with pure Docker implementation of, like you run MCP as a Docker container, it's a lack of isolation what we have with service mesh. I would like actually to intercept network and have some kind of equivalent of, sidecar configuration where you can specify exactly which DNS
you're
you allow.
You're gonna love what we built. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well, we don't have all of that stuff yet, but yes, we have it in such a way that adding like you'll anyway. The update is tomorrow.
Sure.
Anisha.
Yeah.
I saw you raise your hand. Nope. Well, I think it seems like you commented. You said that you're attending KubeCon India and would love to meet anyone else who might be attending. I'm not personally, Despite my video background, I'm not or I don't know. Anyway, I'm not in India right now, but if others are, and also feel free to post about that in the Discord. I think there are definitely others. There are people posting in the Discord who were at KubeCon Day a few days ago. So definitely post in the KubeCon or post in the Discord and see, because there definitely might be people in there who are attending.
And if you post on LinkedIn, just tag Kagent. We would love to help you promote your posts as well. And so it's good for us to know what's going on. We really love people talk about Kagent around the world.
All right. I think we're out of time and I'm hungry. So unless anyone else has anything, I think we'll call it for today. All righty. I will speak to you all next week. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.